So we're in the first week of June, and it's been an early mango year for most varieties. So here's a quick look at several of our key varieties. This particular tree is Alfonso. Now, Alfonso usually is a very shy producer. Fortunately, at least for us, fortunately this year we had more Alfonso, but I don't see any mangoes on the tree right now. Here's one of our Beverly trees. Actually, it's two trees. The initial tree got knocked down by Hurricane Wilma, and we didn't know if it was going to make it. We planted another one right here, and so we've got like two trees growing as one. As you can tell, we have a lot of Beverly fruit. Beverly is often a very late fruit. And this year, we are at least a month away from a lot of these fruit being ready to pick. But on some of our trees, we've actually picked a few Beverly already. So it looks like a long season for Beverly. There's a lot of fruit, and so that's a good thing. So this is one of our carry trees. We have a lot of carry fans, so we grow a lot of carry mango. And this particular tree is a really nice size. We've kept it small, and it was very productive. We've had a very good carry season, and that season is mostly over. But we do have a few fruit from a second crop on some of the trees. So we will have a little bit of carry going forward once this is ready to pick, but there's no way that we can satisfy everybody. We've got a lot of fans out there, a lot of carry fans, and we just don't have enough fruit to satisfy all of the demand. So this is one of our Coggeshall trees. We actually have 3 Coggeshall trees, and our tree that's on the other side of the grove actually had the first fruit of the season. That Coggeshall flowered early, fruited early, and barely beat out Dwarf Hawaiian and Rosa for the first fruit. But this particular tree flowered much later. The first bloom just didn't stick, and so now we have Coggeshall fruit. This is unusual not only for this year but for all years, because Coggeshall typically has a lot of fruit toward the second half of May, and so first part of June, and we have a lot of fruit that's not quite ready to pick. So we're expecting Coggeshall season to continue for possibly 2 or 3 weeks. This is one of our Duncan trees. You might remember it as the tree that had the broken branch. Right there is where the branch broke off of the tree because it had so much fruit. Duncan is a very productive variety, and even though it has a lot of fruit hanging, it's a small fraction of what this tree produced. We are definitely at the end of Duncan season. I'm guessing at most we will have 2 weeks more of Duncan. Here's our main fruit punch tree. Now, fruit punch is a new Gary Zill variety, and it's just very productive and a very popular fruit. We have, I think, 3 fruit left on this tree, but you can tell by all the empty panicles up there, it was a great year for fruit punch. So this is one of our Glen trees. We actually have a lot of Glens in the same row here. Some of them are finished fruiting and some of them still have fruit. It's just a little bit of different timing, possibly because of the way the trees were trimmed or just the different little microenvironments. But this tree I'm not seeing any fruit on, and yet we still have fruit on some of the other trees. So it looks like this later season of Glen, all the fruit will be ripe and off the trees in within 2 weeks. Here's one of our Jakarta trees. Jakarta is a very productive tree for us, and it has a long season. So even though we have already picked fruit from this tree, it still has fruit on it, and I'm guessing that some of this fruit might ripen in about 4 weeks, and some of it will be ready within a week. This is our original Julie tree. I've grafted Julie on some other trees around the grove, but here's our original one. It's more than 20 years old, and right now it's got, I think, 3 fruit on it. So this tree is definitely toward the end of its season. I'm guessing those 3 fruit will be ready to pick like within a week. Some of the Julie in other parts of the grove will last a little bit longer. It's a different situation for them, so they have a slightly different season. So here's one of our Kent trees. Kent is a really nice late variety. It's large fruit, rich flavor, and it usually is ready toward the end of July. This year, I've already picked a few Kent fruit, and it looks like all of our Kent will probably be ready in June. So this is one of our lemon meringue trees. 2020 has been a great year for lemon meringue. They've been looking great and tasting great. Unfortunately, the season has pretty much ended. We have a lot of lemon meringue trees, and total on all of the trees, possibly 15 to 20 fruit. And so lemon meringue season is over. This is one of our Mollica trees. Sometimes I say Mollica, but Mollica is closer to the way you're supposed to say it. Mollica is a variety that a lot of carry lovers switch to after carry fruit are gone. It's a nice fibrous variety, and unfortunately it's not a great year for us for Mollica. This is a rather large tree, a lot of tip ends, and we just have a few sections that have fruit on them. So all this fruit, this is going to be possibly July before that's ready, end of June or July. And we've been picking some fruits from some of the other trees now. So you'll see a little bit of Mollica being available, but again, it's not been a great year for it. This is our main Neelam tree. Neelam's a really nice variety. Sometimes you can get fruit as late as October. Sort of an interesting thing here. We have a full-size Neelam right here, and right next to it we have all these small fruit. And the situation, here's another one with larger fruit. These are probably younger fruit, but also they're small because they haven't been thinned. Neelam can produce so many fruit that it'll break branches, and in fact that's happened to this tree already. It was a rather large branch, at least 6 inches in diameter. So anyway, if you come across this situation with any of your varieties and you want larger fruit, just take the smaller fruit off and you will have anything that is already marked up like that. There's nothing wrong with that fruit, but it doesn't look great. So you might as well eliminate it early in the process, and hopefully these other fruit will grow up and be big and strong. So a fruit like this is going to be ready to pick very soon, probably within a week. For younger fruit like these, we're going to be waiting at least a month for those, I think. So it doesn't look like we will have October fruit on this tree this year, but we certainly will have 2 seasons. This is Pettigrew. Pettigrew is a late variety and it's not commonly grown. We had a great late crop last year, and right now we see a lot of fruit hanging on this tree, so we're hoping for a lot of nice Pettigrew this year. But this year it's going to be a little earlier. I'm guessing Pettigrew will be ready in July. This is our main Rosy Gold tree. Actually top worked another variety with Rosy Gold, and it was very productive this year. Rosy Gold has beautiful fruit. They're fairly large, and the tree stays fairly small. Sometimes people get Rosy Gold fruit in March. Not for us. We got that mostly in May, late April and May. But right now, there's nothing on the tree. Here's Seacrest. We have picked a lot of Seacrest this year, and there's still some left on the tree. It's been very productive, very popular fruit. This is one of our Valencia Pride trees. It's a less than average year for it. We have fruit, of course, but only on certain parts of the tree. Fortunately for the pickers, most of the fruit is low on the tree, and it is mostly going to be ready on this tree within the next 2 weeks. We have some other trees in the grove, and those are actually further behind, different place, different timing of the season. So that's a quick look at some of our varieties around the grove. As I've said many times on many videos, it's been a weird year. A lot of mangoes have been flowering really early and fruiting very early. So even though it's the beginning of June, we are well past the halfway point in the season. We have definitely picked more fruit already than there's left on the trees. So it's been good so far, but the downside is going forward we're not going to have as many mangoes.